Yes, I am the tax man. And this is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560.
The Answer.
Here with Deborah, our technical producer, Jim, our...
the show's producer.
And my realtor, my very good friend, my nephew.
Ladies and gentlemen, what I would like to say is if you're out there listening before we do Mr. Know-It-All, if there is a subject that you would like Attorney Stephen Leahy to a question, a subject, or any legal matter that relates to taxes, go to watchtalkradio.com or chicagotaxteam.com. But mainly go on Facebook, go to the Trust Radio Network page, because we have the show Trust Radio Network every Saturday at 10 p.m., and you can like that page and make sure you ask away that question or that comment or whatever you'd like to hear.
Or the poll. They can weigh in on the poll.
We have the poll that's
Bacon
up live.
On your
weigh
Big
in
Mac.
on the Big Mac.
That's right.
Don't weigh in while you eat a Big Mac, but take the poll.
I love that.
Is the Big Mac better with bacon or just the original?
And I love that. I love that Constitution
I think I know how
segment.
this is going to work.
But anyway, today I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about it. The question.
And now, here's that man with a head just crammed full of knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Know-It-All, the segment where Attorney Stephen Leahy gives us his infinite wisdom on all things taxes. I say that jokingly because how can you have infinite wisdom on such a complex tax code?
That's very good, Jim. Because I agree with you. I don't want to lead you to believe that I know all things.
You know,
but here, as a good attorney, what good attorneys do is they become experts of the moment. So when you have an issue, I know where to find the answer. So I don't always have it in my head, but I know where to find it, and that's what good lawyers do. Okay, so in this segment, though, what I wanted to talk about is I wanted to tell you the difference between a Chapter 13 bankruptcy and a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And this is a common question because it was, which one should I file? What's the difference? Okay, so let's talk about it. If you think of the bankruptcy code as a book, and like every other book, it's divided into chapters. And this is why you hear so much about a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 or a Chapter 11, for instance, or a Chapter 9. Or, there's a Chapter 12. So there's different chapters, and each individual chapter has a different remedy for a different situation. Generally, what consumers file are a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13. The title of Chapter 7 is liquidation. Generally, Chapter 7 is that bankruptcy that most people think about when they think about bankruptcy, when you're going to walk away from your debt and not pay anybody back anything. Now, that's not always the truth. Sometimes people do pay people back. What the title, as I mentioned, is liquidation. So technically what happens under a Chapter 7 liquidation is all your assets above a certain level of exemptions allowed by law are taken from you and sold. And then the proceeds of that sale are used to pay your creditors, all or a portion of what their claims are. Now, in a vast majority of cases, under Chapter 7, there aren't any assets above the level of exemptions allowed by law. And so most people who file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy don't really lose anything, and most of their debts are discharged, sometimes all of them. But when I say most, because things like recent taxes, child support payments, student loans, these types of debts are not dischargeable in bankruptcy. But most other debt is. Certainly your credit card debt is. Personal loans, utility bills, even mortgages and car loans are dischargeable in bankruptcy. Now, they still have a lien on that property that you had that's backing up that collateral, and they might take that property from you, but they could never come back at you for what they call a deficiency. The deficiency is the difference between what they sell it for and what you owe them. Okay, so that discharges that obligation. Under Chapter 13, the title of Chapter 13 is Adjustment of Debt for Individuals with Regular Income. And what happens under Chapter 13 is you devise a plan to repay your creditors over a period of time. That time goes from 3 years to 5 years, depending on how you're trying to pay them back. Generally, Chapter 13 is used by people who are behind in a payment on their mortgage or on their car. They're trying to save their home. They're trying to save their car, or their income is too high. But in a nutshell, this is the difference between a Chapter 7 and a Chapter 13. Under Chapter 7, I'm protecting all of my future income because I'm using all of my assets to pay whatever I have to pay my creditors. as I mentioned, in many cases, you're not going to pay them anything. But then that protects all my future income. Under a Chapter 13, it's just the opposite. I'm going to use my future income to pay my creditors, but I'm going to protect my assets in order to keep them.
More ways than one.
So yes, so anyway, this is the difference. This is I'm protecting assets like my house, like my car. Or I'm going to use my future income, or I'm going to leave my assets vulnerable, and I'm going to protect my future income. So that's in a nutshell. That's the difference between Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. Which one is right for you? Well, what's the answer to all legal questions? Most legal questions.
Consult an attorney.
It depends. Right? It depends.
That's what I always say, consult an attorney.
Which one's right for you? It depends. You need to know. So anyway, that's what we do. We'll look.
I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question for Attorney Stephen Leahy or need any of your legal troubles answered, give Open Tax Resolution a call, 312-664-6649, and visit chicagotaxteam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's tax season. Open Tax Resolution will help you do your taxes. So give those good folks a call, 312-664-6649. Now stay tuned and come right back on AM 560. The Answer.